You ready? Great. Hi guys, we're back here with another conversation on the bench. It's called Conversations on the Bench, but although I'm in a chair, but I've got my two next guests. They're going to have a really authentic, honest, and transparent conversation with me. I've got Becky Fouard. Yes, Fouard, like it's spelled differently, but it's pronounced Ford. And Kris Glassburn. They are with a CrossFit club called MG4 CrossFit. And so they have been a long-time volunteer and participants in that fundraising event that we have here at Wheeler called Strength in Our Streets. And so they're more than just participants. They have really been good partners here with our ministry. And so Becky and Kris, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here and coming here on the bench, right?
Yeah. On this sunny day.
It's too much sun?
Oh, no, can't complain.
I tell you, I love the sun. After last night, it got pretty chilly last night.
I know, woke up to 40 degrees.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So
fall is here.
It was like 70 and 80 all week, right? Yeah. And then the one day that Perry decides to spend 24 hours on a bench, we get frost freeze warnings last night. So
you're welcome to the fall.
Yeah. Fall in Indiana.
Would you rather have 90 degrees in October or 40 in October?
I want 90. I don't want 40.
I want the 40.
90.
I want the 40.
Do you? You want 40?
Oh, yeah.
You must like cool weather, right?
Oh, yeah. I like sweaters. And
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for coming and here and talking to us. I don't know how much you know about what we're doing. We're part of a national conversation. There's more than 70 or so CEOs like me from around the country. 3 here in Indiana, one, my friend Tracy down in Evansville Rescue Mission, and then Eric up in Warsaw Rescue Mission. But then, there's more than 70 others all around the country that we're convening, live streaming for 24 hours in recognition of something called World Homeless Day. Just trying to bring awareness and attention to the barriers and challenges that our neighbors, men and women and children who face the challenges of experiencing homelessness, right? But what I love about this is this allows us to be more of a local level. That's the national part, and we're part of this national thing that's happening. But when we have local people here on our bench for 24 hours, it just brings the local flair to it. And so we can really get down to the nitty gritty and talk about things that are affecting our community, right? And so, first of all, tell me a little bit about MG4 CrossFit, right? You guys belong to that club and you participate in our Strength in Our Streets. Probably before we get started with talking about MG4 CrossFit, what we're going to do is we're going to have Brian Crispin come in. He's our Chief Marketing and Communications Officer. And Brian, for years, has done Strength in Our Streets, and he's going to present you with something pretty special here. Okay. Ooh. Where are you, Brian?
I'm right here.
There you go.
All right. On behalf of Wheeler Mission, we want to acknowledge M4G CrossFit as the champion of the 2025 Strength in Our Streets. And this is our yearly trophy. It's very heavy. I'm going to sit it right here.
Yeah.
And that's yours for a year. You've had it before. First time you won it. So congratulations, guys. We appreciate your effort. You guys have been an amazing part of the event, and you're the reason why it's so successful. So well done. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I'm going to try to lift this. Oh, it is heavy and I'm low. So, I can't do it. I can't do it. No injuries. So, tell me a little bit about MG CrossFit, MG4 CrossFit.
Yeah. Well, Kris and myself both work out there. My husband and I opened M4G CrossFit in December of 2018. Okay. It stands for Made
before the pandemic.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Oh, wow.
Timing, right?
Yeah.
It stands for Made for Greatness.
Oh.
And we believe that everyone is born for greatness. Yeah. And so for us in our community, it's much more than a gym and a building. It really is community and people, which I feel like resonates a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Wheeler Mission as well.
It does.
We've actually had people in our community who graduated through the addiction program who come and do CrossFit. We have people in our community who have parents who've gone through Wheeler Missions programs.
Wow. Really?
So there's a really tight connection with that neighborhood, and we're serving not just our community members, but our neighbors. For us, our CrossFit gym, we do a workout every single day. Every day it's different.
Every day
it's different. I mean, you don't have to go every day. Some of us like to.
Sunday is the day for us.
Okay. Sunday's the day. Yes. If God
There's something biblical about that, right?
Yeah, something a little biblical there. But so we're all about inclusiveness and trying to make fitness and being healthy accessible to everybody. Because we know if you feel better and you're healthier, you're just going to be a better mom, a better dad, a better co-worker, all of those things. So it really is a lot more than, it's not about what you see in the mirror, it's how you feel and the person you become.
So you must be doing something right. You survived the pandemic. That couldn't have been very easy at all for a lot of business owners here in our community.
Fun fact, during the pandemic, it was our, 1.5, 2 year mark. And I also was pregnant with our first child.
Oh my.
So let's just say there was a lot of stress on what do you do? You have to close your business. We talk about like innovation and just people coming together. We did Tuesday night coffee chats on Zoom to stay connected with people.
Oh yeah.
We did a workout every day through an app and created YouTube video tutorials for people. So just, I can't say it enough. So much gratitude for those individuals.
They're stuck with you.
They stuck with us, and it's hard to work out in your garage, in your backyard. And so we're just so grateful because of that community and support. We were able to survive and thrive.
And look at you now,
Yeah.
Now, 2025, look at you.
Yeah.
Anything
you want to add?
I joined M4G in 2020. So actually during the pandemic, they welcomed us with open arms. My husband and I have been CrossFitters for over a decade. That's actually how we met. And so when Tristan welcomed us with open arms, it was definitely a great gym, and the community, they thrive off support such as like Wheeler Mission and such, and competition. And so raising not only ourselves up, but raising other people up is really what the main goal of CrossFit is the community. And so, we do strengthen our streets every year, and people joke that M4G is probably going to win every year. And I think it's because we are such a tight-knit community at that gym, and we welcome anyone and everyone there. Okay.
Fantastic. We really appreciate all the work and effort that goes into it. And so it's not just a fundraiser, right? For us, it's about connecting with the community in a way that's relevant and something that allows us to take those proceeds and then plow it back into investing in men, women, and children every night. I get a report, as CEO, I get a report every night on what happens in the shelters. And, last night we had a little over 720 men, women, and children. One night, and so it's so much good that comes from faithful folks and faithful fundraisers like you guys. And so we don't look at it as a one shot deal. We look at it as a partnership, and so I'm sure you know this, but whatever we can do to help you guys with your mission, because it sounds like you're more than a business. You're not a business, right? It's in your name, M4G, right? And so that's the origin of how you started this, and I'm sure that's a big reason why you're thriving, right? And so what we're trying to do is, I told you about the CEOs coming together and talking, on the bench one day, and hopefully highlighting, World Homeless Day. What are some misconceptions that you hear out there? There's probably misconceptions about CrossFitters, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And there's misconceptions about the folks we serve every night, individuals experiencing homelessness. So what are some misconceptions about CrossFitters first that we can dispel here, kind of get over that hump, and let people know that it's not that bad.
It's not. I can go first if you want.
Yeah, you can do the CrossFit.
Misconceptions.
Okay, two key things that I hear a lot. One is that I'm not fit enough or healthy enough to start CrossFit. And that to me, I'm like, oh, that breaks my heart, because the whole point of CrossFit is to join, to become healthy and become fit. And so that's one thing. I think because CrossFit has so many different movements, and what you see on the TV or broadcast are oftentimes elite athletes.
Are they?
People get that misconception that, oh, I have to be so fit to even start
CrossFit.
To start CrossFit, which is not the case. What we have, I always say, we've got. I taught our beginners class for some time. We've got grandmas who are 76 plus years old doing it. We've got first time 13-year-olds learning how to just do movement well. So it's for people of all ages, and the only requirement is that you're just willing to try. And there's modifications for everything. So that's one major misconception that I hear.
Okay.
I'm not fit enough.
Not fit enough.
I need to get in shape to start CrossFit.
Yeah.
I think the other one just goes back to age. I think a lot of people think you have to be young to do CrossFit. That is not the case. Like I said, we have CrossFit. There's CrossFit kids out there where you could be 5 to 17 doing it. We have grandparents doing it. I'll never forget teaching a beginner's class with a grandma named Donna. And one of those classes, I asked everyone, why did you decide to start CrossFit? And Donna said, my grandchild weighs 30 pounds. And my goal is to be able to pick up my grandchild.
Wow.
And so it really is about just how can you live your life better, whether it's you're able to get down on the ground and play with your grandchild and get back up.
Yeah.
You're able to do that. Or for Donna, pick up her grandkid and not be out of breath. And so it's for all ages. You don't have to be young to do CrossFit. Yes, maybe when you go to Strengthen Our Streets, maybe you see it, some young folks out there, but anyone can do it. Yep. And the point of CrossFit is not competition.
Yeah.
The point is health and well-being, so we can be our best selves for the people who we care the most about.
Yeah. So that's 2 big misconceptions, right?
I would say those are the first 2 that come to my mind. I hear quite a bit.
I think one of the other ones is, I can't lift heavy. And I think that everybody needs to recognize that there's different
Do you
levels.
think guys say that misconception with guys or just girls?
It's with all.
Both.
Really?
Yeah, girls and guys. And there's the misconception that, I can't lift this, I can't do that. Yeah. And everything is what we call scalable. And everything is, we will find alternatives. We actually have like 4 or 5 pregnant women that are just like 8 months pregnant, still going hard at CrossFit.
Wow.
We have found different movements for them so that they can still show up. We can still rise them to be their best selves, but we are able to scale everything in accordance. So if you have knee surgery, you had back surgery, there's always different movements that you can do, and you don't have to lift heavy. There's different avenues. It's just finding the best thing that works for you, and nobody's ever going to pass judgment on you. Everybody's going to be like, we are so happy that you showed up, that we could care less if you just showed up and you did like half the workout because today just wasn't your day, but like you showed up, and that's the best thing that you could have done. So I think the misconception sometimes is I'm not strong enough, and it's not that in the slightest. I have an ailment, and that's not it either.
Wow, those are some pretty big misconceptions right there. And so in our line of work, what we do, probably, there's a lot of misconceptions. They equate homelessness with crime. Nothing could be further from the truth, and statistics show that individuals experiencing homelessness do not commit crimes anymore than the general population, statistically speaking. There's always going to be crime. Don't get me wrong. But what happens is, from that misconception, individuals experiencing homelessness are just more visible, and when crime does occur, it's taken way out of proportion. And so that's one of the biggest misconceptions. Another misconception is, well, you did it to yourself. You probably just want money for drugs and alcohol. Does some of that occur? Of course it does. But I tell people quite often is usually when you see someone who's asking for money or panhandling, they're not homeless. They're in it for other reasons. And at one time, my predecessor, a guy named Rick Alvis, actually sent a team of our directors, our shelter directors, out on the streets of Indianapolis to kind of do a little survey of our own, to see if they recognize the people who are asking for money on the streets of Indianapolis were people in our shelters. And since we're the largest shelter in town, and indeed in the state of Indiana, if those guys on the ground didn't recognize them in our shelters, they're probably not homeless, right?
Yeah.
If you're homeless, you're going to be somewhere where you can be housed. Yeah. And so they recognize very few of those folks. And so
one of my really good friends, may he rest in peace, his name is Jason Vanoski. And he actually went through Wheeler Missions, Hebrew, I think it was called
Hebron. Down at our camp, we've got a 300-acre camp, close to Bloomington.
Yeah. So Jason went through that, and
that's a tough program.
It was very tough.
It's not easy.
And he came out, and he was a CrossFitter. That's how actually I met him.
Oh, wow.
But and he used to say, when I just needed drugs, I'd just go panhandle.
Yeah.
He said it was easy for me to get $80,000, or not $80,000.
Whoa,
$80?
Yeah, $80 to $800
a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
He said he would just panhandle, and he would essentially just go and use it for drugs.
Yeah.
But then when he went through Wheeler Mission, he went through that program, he came back out, and he recognized, like, I was really just panhandling to feed my addiction.
Yeah.
And then, he he went through that program. He actually did a couple Strength in the Streets. He was a
Did
great,
he? Okay.
Yeah, he's since deceased, but he's a really great human, or was a great human. And but yes, he used to tell me that it was like, most of the people that you see on the streets, the ones that are panhandling, are really just to feed the addictions.
Yeah.
So that is a misconception that I've always thought of. But it's, if you are showing up, like after this, I'm going to go volunteer at Outreach Inc., which is for the children.
Yeah, I've got Andrew Neal, the CEO. He's going to be on today, and just talking about homeless youth.
Yeah. And so, I think just the community showing up and helping Wheeler Mission, helping Outreach, helping Second Helpings, all of those showing up allows for us to recognize that, there are some difficulties with individuals begging for money, but then there's also people that are just truly out on the streets. I actually have a question for you, though.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what this is called, a conversation. This is not me talking to you. I want to do more listening than I am talking. Number one, my voice is about to go after so many hours, but I want to listen to your questions, and and if I don't have the answers, I'll tell you I don't have the answers.
I love that.
Right?
Honesty is key.
So what's your question?
So downtown is my backyard. I live off this street, actually. And so we face, we see a lot of homelessness and such.
You see it, it's personal for you.
Yeah, it is. But that's okay. My question is Wheeler, or do you feel like any other programs in the next year find themselves collecting money or raising money to find more opportunities for mental health for these individuals? Because yes, they could be addicted to drugs, but if you don't start with, like, again, CrossFit, if you don't start with your mental health, or you don't start with healing yourself from within, you're never really going to heal yourself outside. So I'm wondering, we give a lot of individuals shelter, food, but what about organizations that can help mental health?
I'm so glad you asked that question. It's a softball question for me, right? So Wheeler Mission has high brand awareness. After 132 years in this community, we have high brand awareness, but low brand knowledge. In other words, people think they know what we do, but they really don't have the knowledge of what we do.
Yeah.
Do we provide food, clothing, and shelter? Which, our one of our mottos or taglines is help, hope, healing. Food, clothing, and shelter is help, right? Yeah. That's more the transactional kind of thing. That is, yes, we do provide that. Last year we provided 411,000 meals and 295,000 safe nights of shelter, right? We do that. But what they don't know is that the help part. We help people, with long-term and short-term drug and alcohol addiction counseling programs, job readiness training programs, mental health counseling. 60 to 65% of the people I see every night. So almost 7 out of 10 people I see every night. And last night we saw about 700, a little more than 700 men, women, and children. And it's not even cold yet. When it gets cold, I'm going to see upwards of 800, 900, almost 1,000 a night. Right. For us, 60 to 65% of those folks have an addiction of some type, coupled with, mental health challenge of some type. Yeah. And so we only have one certified mental health counselor, on staff, but we have such great partners that we refer out and work with, in the community. So your question was going forward, next year or two, do we see us increasing resources? We're always looking for resources, to help with the 1-2 punch, an addiction and a mental health crisis or an illness of some type. But it's always something that's on our minds. It's hard. Yeah. It's really, really hard. Yeah. And those people, who are certified mental health counselors are just as good as gold.
They are
right?
Gold.
Yeah, they are. And it's hard to source good ones, that nonprofits can afford, and when you're not a Wishart, not Wishart, Eskenazi or IU Health, it's just really difficult. I had the CEO of Adult and Child Services yesterday, and they do a lot of that. And so we work with organizations like that to really, after we've worked with them in case counseling and see that they need help beyond what we can provide, we work with them, give them, resources and transportation and all the tools that they need to be successful. So we recognize it's an issue, and it's just finding the resources and really the talent, to really help that part of this very, very complex
talent and patience.
Yeah. Yes, exactly right. Yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that question.
Do the case managers follow through on a 3, 6, 9 month basis?
Oh, absolutely.
Or is
they stay with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the
Awesome.
annual?
Yeah. So, I got about 2 minutes here. They tell me it's a hard stop. If you are
I
not.
had one more other question.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay. There is a misconception that Wheeler Mission is faith-based. This is going to be a more difficult question. And it's been brought to people's, it's again, a misconception, but who are you welcoming in your doors? Is the LGBTQ community allowed in there? Because
we welcome everybody.
Okay.
That's a total misconception.
It is
something I fight each and every day. Yeah. Right. So yes, we are faith-based. And we don't hide from that fact. We believe that, our business, see every man, woman, and child we see every night equipped, keyword equipped, to be productive citizens, and enjoy lasting success through Jesus Christ, right? So we don't turn anybody away. Now, you can't be packing knives and guns and stuff and
dangerous is a different story.
Get metal detectors, right?
Right.
But because of how you identify, we don't we welcome each and every person.
Okay.
Now, and we have services and ways to work with every individual just like that. So no, that's a total misconception, and
cancel that misconception.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a misconception of the community, and we are faith-based, and we don't run from it, but we welcome everybody, and
I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, and we're low barrier, right? And you don't have, which means you don't have to do something. Go to mass or go to chapel or profess faith in Jesus Christ, even, right?
Yeah.
To get our services, right?
Yeah.
So we welcome each and every one. So we're wrapping it up here. Becky and Kris, thank you so much.
Yeah.
For all you do at our Strength in Our Streets, but more importantly, for the people of character that you and your families are. You don't know what a blessing you are to us, not only at Wheeler, but to this entire community.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. And thank you for living and working downtown.
Oh, yeah, I love it. This is my my backyard. So
yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Barry.
That's another conversation on a bench with Becky and Kris, who are volunteers with us, and they do so much more than just volunteer. So we'll be right back after a national feed, and they're telling me I got a hard stop.